lead guitarist and vocalist for No Rehearsal.
And my name's Christian. I'm the bassist for No Rehearsal.
And David's not here yet, but he's the drummer for No Rehearsal.
All right, guys, thank you so much for sitting down with me. So we'll start off with some kind of basic questions. How are you guys a band? How did you guys become a band?
So I had started No Rehearsal whenever I was in 6th grade. And I basically just started the band as a product of needing a group to play with for a talent show at our middle school. And I just got really serious about having a band and making music, and I just took it from there. And then, as a joke, since we were 12, in 6th grade, not really committed to anything, my parents said, well, why don't you just call yourselves No Rehearsal, since we hadn't rehearsed at all for the talent show, and the name just stuck with us. So, it was just kind of a joke name that just stuck. I don't know.
It's an unusual name, I'll tell you that, but it's catchy. Like, I feel like if you tell someone, yeah, I'm No Rehearsal, usually like, what?
Yeah,
all right.
I can't tell you how many times we've heard, do you guys
rehearse? You obviously do. You can hear it in your music. All right, now talking about music, we all come from different backgrounds, therefore we all have different musical experiences as we're growing up, and then we eventually evolve into something that we like. So what would you guys say your musical influences are individuals?
Okay, yeah, so I really was into the Beatles, and then from there I started really liking blues music. So I got into like Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, that kind of thing, which led me into John Mayer. And so then from loving John Mayer and the whole like music that was like really guitar based, I started really getting into like indie rock recently. So lately it's been The Neighborhood, the 1975, Bad Sons, Honey, Tame Impala, just like, I know that Tame Impala is Australian, but like I think a lot of that like California indie rock has really been what we've been on lately. And there's obviously like variations from there. I think that's like the change, from the Beatles to blues, and then it just kind of went down. And right now I'm on indie rock, and I think that show is on Change of Heart. Because if you listen to our first EP, Late in the Midnight Hour, it's really bluesy and raw. And then you've got Change of Heart, which is really produced and really like, I guess indie. Like not like there's there's some indie pop, then there's some indie rock. It all has that like feel to it.
And you guys tend to, well, I don't know, but you guys lean a little bit more towards the indie rock, which is kind of what I liked. Because like I was telling him, you can still kind of hear the blues inspiration, but it's more modern.
Yeah.
Now, what about you? What would you say your musical inspirations were, like growing up and to leading to now?
I'd say starting out young, one of my first favorite bands was Black Sabbath.
I saw them live in concert. They're amazing. Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I actually didn't catch them.
Yeah, David saw them.
Our drummer David went and saw them.
Amazing.
But that was pretty much my first true band. I'm into them. And then from there it just sprouted on to just guitar based music, a lot of metal, like Ozzy and Metallica and all that. And then it really transitioned to newer rock and just growing up, I guess, as I started to form and like music, I started really liking pop music and just everything related to pop. And obviously I was still in middle school when Michael Jackson passed away, and everyone was listening to Michael Jackson. So I really took into Michael Jackson around 2009.
I cried when he died. It was really sad.
For you?
Yeah, hip hop. I really listened to a lot of hip hop early in high school. So I just went through phases.
Yeah, you really changed. Wow.
Yeah, I really went into two phases of what I liked, and I just want to take elements from every genre and just listen. Now I'm really into the 1975 and The Neighborhood and
Arctic Monkeys.
Arctic Monkeys is amazing right now to me. And just basically all that, and just try to mold it into pop music, I guess. I guess at the end of the day, what No Rehearsal is really trying to do is blend blues and blend indie rock and make it into a pop package that you can just listen to on the radio. Pop music shouldn't really be a bad word, and pop music should be,
really just whatever we're making even if it's not pop, we want it to feel like pop. So like if we're making like an R&B kind of feeling song, it's still gonna feel pop. And if we're making a blues song, it's still gonna be packaged like pop. And if it's, you know, indie, it's still gonna be packaged like pop. Like that's our main goal, is to try and take whatever influence that we're trying to use and still make it feel kind of poppy, in a sense. Like the like songwriting and the flow of the music, you know, it doesn't, I want it to feel like that, like what I guess some pop music could feel like. I mean, you've got like Mumford & Sons, they make folk music. You would never think that like folk music would be playing on like top 40, but it is, and so. You
know, they like, it's all about making it work, but also staying true to what you believe as an artist. I believe a lot of this industry will kind of like try to take you and like turn you into something you're not. But if you stay true to your music, then that's all it's about. All right, so my next question is, you guys obviously came from different musical backgrounds. You with your heavy metal, and you like more of a blues side. When you guys were coming up with kind of like the sound for the band, was that difficult to kind of like gear into just one sound, or did you guys all know what you wanted No Rehearsal to sound like?
I think that like, I think like I'm pretty, should I say this, like, I guess like I had already had the band before these guys came in, so I already had like a vision of the sound, and they just kind of came in and just took what I had given and like formed their like feel to it. And so I think that was what Late in the Midnight Hour was. That was my vision, and then they just came in and like made it their own. And then with Change of Heart, that was the first time that we ever really sat down and wrote songs as a band together, without like any like lineup changes or things like that. But I mean, like David, for example, is hugely into classic rock, like only 80s. Like anytime he's driving or listening to music, it's Rush, it's, you know, it's Foreigner, it's Styx, it's like the Beatles. It is really like 60s through 80s. Like he does not listen to any like today's hits.
That's a lie. He listens to Hosier. He has Hosier City.
Yeah. So like, I think it's just a matter of like, everyone in this band is open-minded and we just love music. And so even though we all have different backgrounds, we just love music and making music. And so therefore, like, whatever style we're making, despite our previous influences, we're just here to make music.
Right.
And it just, I don't know, it works. Like, it's worked thus far, so I can't tell you like why it works, but it just works.
It works. Now, when you guys are making music, the process, you know, for different bands, sometimes bands will sit, turn on a recorder and play around. They'll just play on their guitar or their drums until something good comes up or something they like, and then they focus around that. Or some musicians go into the recording studio, into like a recording session, a writing session, knowing exactly what they want the song to sound like. They have a melody, they have everything in their heads. When it comes to making your music, how do you guys come together as musicians to write your songs? Do you individually write your parts, or you guys write them together?
So I think most of what we've made thus far has been like, I'll have guitar chords or some kind of like guitar lick, and then the band will build off of that. So then once we have a band foundation, then I can go in with the guys and we can write lyrics and start on like melodies and stuff. So it really, I mean, I guess not every time it started with guitar, but every time it starts with like an individual instrument, which we then build off of and then put lyrics and like melody to. That's generally what happens.
Now, I'm sorry, continue.
Like, I'm trying to think of a song to use for that. Like AM off of our first EP, that one was just the intro guitar lick, and then we just built off of that. Or like on Change of Heart, Trophies, which is the last track, I just had this like those chords, and so then we just built from there. Or Back to Fall, I had the chord progression, and then I just took it to rehearsal and we built from there, and then I started just singing what came to my head, and then the lyrics just came later. So it seems to have all been built off of guitar generally.
All right, now when you're writing your lyrics, Do you pull from personal experience? A lot of artists create a fictional world in which they live in, which is kind of odd, and they write from that. And a lot of artists write from their personal experiences. If they're from a small town, they usually write about what happens in that town, or they tend to pull from different things. When you're writing your songs, do you pull from personal experience, or is it just varies?
You're looking at me like I only wrote one song for the band.
I mean, most of it is personal experience, but sometimes you just like create a story based off of something close to what you've experienced. Like, trying to think of like what's on you. Like, for example, Can't Stop, which is track number 3 off of Change of Heart. That one is personal experience. Back to Fall is not necessarily personal experience, but it's like taking things that I have experienced in like relationships before and then kind of creating this situation. Like, I can't tell you that I've exactly experienced a situation where I was thinking like,
this could be a song.
Like, I don't know, because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about the like chorus of Back to Fall, and like.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, a lot of it always has to do with personal experience and just
right.
what you've been through. You can only write what you know. But like with AM, I kind of wrote that one. I wrote the first verse and the chorus for AM, and that just started off by like, I don't know if you've ever seen the Arctic Monkeys' "Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High" music video, but it's just Alex Turner walking to some girl's house at 3 in the morning. And like, he already had the melody down, so we had a vocal melody for it. We just didn't have lyrics for the vocal melody.
Okay.
And I saw that video and I thought, well, what if I just expand on a character who's just going for like late nights? And so I wrote around the idea of that. Like, that's just what I wrote around.
And I think that's a cool thing, because even though I may not have experienced whatever it may be specifically, if someone has, then they can take themselves and put themselves in my world. But I would say for the most part, yeah, it is personal experience, or it's taking something that we know and like writing something similar, documentary and stuff, and after watching it, and then not just that documentary specifically, but just, you know, like I'll see a headline that like Kanye West is out because of like, you know, mental health issues, and then you see like these artists who have to cancel tours, and you see like just artists having personal issues. And so I just thought about it, and I was like, you know, we are people too, and like there's so much more to us than just our songs. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily think of the artist as any more than what they see on the stage or what they hear.
Definitely.
And so, you know, like you'll be like, you know, how could Amy Winehouse have been so unhappy? She's, you know, a millionaire and she plays for thousands and thousands and thousands of people. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know what she was going through, but she shouldn't feel like she was wrong to have felt the way that she felt. And so I think in the chorus I say, you know, all I'm asking for is just a little more consideration of what an artist means. Like, we're not just here to profit, and we're not just here to take your money. Really, the only thing that was an outside influence was who mixed and mastered the record. You know, the reason that the songs flow the way they do is because we arranged them that way. There wasn't any producers who said, no, I want to do this, no, you need to do this. It was us arranging and writing the way that we thought it should go. And so I feel like if more people looked at the fact that our catalog is a product of us and not other people, then like I feel like reaching more people would be good for us.
Years from now, when you look back to fall, your thoughts won't